Hi, my name is Alfonso with Atlantic Marine, and today I have two very special guests. Their name is Mari and Mike Quesada. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for
Thank you for
having
having
us.
us.
Mike and Mari Quesada are very special guests of ours. We always pick organizations to help and foundations to work with. This one is called Cystic Fibrosis, and I'm going to let you guys talk a little bit more about that. Mike or Mari, who wants to go?
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
We have been working with the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation now since 2001. So we're going on 22 years. We got involved with the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation when our youngest son, Danny, was diagnosed in 2001 with cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is a genetic disease. You're born with it. 1 in 30 folks carry the gene. They don't know it for the most part. If the child receives both genes from the parents, they have cystic fibrosis. It's basically a respiratory disease. It affects the lungs and the digestive system component. There's some diabetic component to it as well. But for the most part, it's lungs and digestive system. So Danny was diagnosed at 13 months. And as soon as he was diagnosed, we began working with the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, which basically raises funds for medical research. There's approximately 40,000 CF patients in the United States. So the pipeline of research for the new drugs is not as large as some of the other diseases that we're faced every day. So the CF Foundation's effort is to find those drugs that help preventative medicine.
Combat.
Yeah,
Fight.
combat and fight. There is no cure, and there
no
still
cure
isn't a cure
yet.
but we've made huge advances with the medicines that are available today versus some of the medicines that were available when Danny was diagnosed 20 some odd years ago. Huge advancements have come up due to the fundraising efforts and investing in these pharmaceutical companies to come up with those things.
That's good. That's good to know. Cystic fibrosis, yes, 40,000 in the United States, over hundreds of thousands worldwide. I researched a little bit on that, and it's a very tough disease. It's very hard. It's not easy, and combating it is very important. Absolutely. Can you share a little bit about Danny and his journey by cystic fibrosis?
Yep. So Danny was born a regular baby. When he was born, he actually had no issues, health issues. About 6 months old, he started not gaining any weight. He was struggling to put on weight. He had a lot of respiratory viruses. He was always with a cough or with a runny nose. And then one day, after many different doctors, they first diagnosed him with asthma, and they diagnosed him with just different things. And sometimes they thought it was allergies. So for a while, we weren't sure what it was that he had. And then one morning, I was watching the Today Show, and the Today Show had a cystic fibrosis patient, and they listed all the CF symptoms.
Okay.
And when I saw that, I said, that's what he has. So I called my pediatrician. I said, you might think I'm crazy, but I think that my son has CF.
No, you're just being a mother.
I was just being a mom, and then after I told the pediatrician that, then we went in for testing, and he was finally diagnosed at the age of 1. And it was very overwhelming because CF is like one of these diseases that a lot of people know nothing about. And if you look at the child, if the child is with treatment, they look like a regular kid.
Okay.
Many times you could not tell Daniel was sick. Towards the end, obviously he looked sicker, but for most of his life, he looked like a healthy young boy because everything's happening on the inside.
Beautiful.
So once they put him on treatment, he was getting respiratory treatments every day. He would do different nebulized medicines. He would first we started with the clapping. We would have to clap him about 30 minutes every day. And then eventually he moved up to a vest that would shake his lungs to get, because with cystic fibrosis, what you get is the regular mucus that normal people have in their lungs, it becomes very, very sticky.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get out. So he would always have to have what they call chest physiotherapy to be able to get that mucus out. He would take multiple medicines. He would take pancreatic enzymes because CF kids have a hard time absorbing the fat in their foods.
The insulin.
Yeah, so he was on many different medications, and his treatments would take, I would say, about an hour, sometimes more in the morning, and again at night. But besides that, Daniel looked like a regular boy.
And let me tell you something. I went into the page and I looked up Danny, and I did some research on him. Beautiful person, beautiful personality, and he was a runner.
He was a runner. He
Wow.
was a runner, which for having CF, the doctors were thrilled because the more he exercised, the better his lung function would be.
And he was very supportive with his team.
Yes,
he would go out there.
Yes, he was.
Sick and all, it doesn't matter. He was out there screaming.
Yeah.
Because there was a certain part where they run, and I guess the runners lose that edge or whatever you want to call it, that second wind.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm standing specifically here.
Here.
Because this is where they kind of like, die down a little bit. And I go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Yeah.
And he pushes them.
He always said that was his time to tell the runners to kick it. It's time to go. It's time to move. So yeah, he was a runner,
smart,
and it was
very smart.
It was very good for him for as long as he could do it.
Good. I saw that the team loved him. He had a lot of support. I went through his Instagram and he did a really good job, and he's actually putting out awareness for CF.
Yes.
Which,
yes,
for those who don't know, CF is a short term for cystic fibrosis. And he's a beautiful person. He was, and he's looking at us right now.
Yes,
and he's so proud of you guys for doing what you do. Let's talk about the foundations and how we can help and contribute. I know there's a couple of them. Let's start off with the CF Foundation. Is that exactly how it is? Cystic Fibrosis Foundation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to put that in the link below, and you can make a donation through there. There's also another foundation, which is started by you guys, which is?
The Running with Danny Foundation.
The Running with Danny Foundation, which I think is a beautiful name for that foundation, because that's exactly what it is. Danny ran, and this is what we're going to do. Danny's doing something as well, I think, for Metro Zoo April 1st.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the Great Strides. Okay. The Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, their main fundraising event nationally is the Great Strides Walk. For years, they had small community walks. So we had our walk in Miami Lakes. We would all get together at the park there, and we'd walk through the sidewalks there in Miami Lakes, and we'd raise funds. And they would do a lot of small community walks. A couple of years ago, right after the pandemic, they decided to bring all the small community walks and do one larger walk. One in Miami-Dade County, there's one in Broward, and another one in Palm Beach, which are the three counties that the Southeast chapter of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation manages. And that's who we do a lot of work with. This year's walk is April 1st. It's at Zoo Miami. And there's a link to the Great Strides page. You could find Team Running with Danny. And there you can sign up to join us. Everybody who signs up gets a wristband, and you get to spend the rest of the day in the zoo. And then you can also donate on the same page. And we have been involved with the walk now. This is our 22nd year involved with the Great Strides Walk. And Running with Danny actually came from one of those walks. Danny, in third grade, he was actually playing the Wii game on TV, and he picked some running game, and he ran like 1.5 miles in like 9-10 minutes straight.
That's good.
And I said, wow, that was pretty good. He goes, yeah, that felt good. I said, you should try and run cross country. So that's what he did. At the school, he joined the cross country team. And when he was in fourth grade, through our company, we went to the corporate run downtown. And we told him, you have to stay with us. You know, that was his first 5K that he was going to try and do. And he was very competitive, so he wanted to go. And we started walking. The minute we made the first turn, he looked back at us and he took off. So, you know, a fourth grader running through the streets of Miami with 25,000 people, we were like, oh, man. So sure enough, he made it. Everything was good. 2 days later, we had our walk. So he wanted to run. Knowing this was not a timed event, I figured he'd be running by himself. So I asked, who's running with Danny? And some of the older kids raised their hands, so they ran with Danny. And that's really where running with Danny started.
Beautiful.
And we did that back in 2012.
Thank you for sharing that story. That's a great story. That is a beautiful story.
And then through Running with Danny, we have our Facebook, our Instagram pages. We have our website, runningwithdanny.org, where you can get learn a lot more about them, have information on cystic fibrosis and how to donate and events and that kind of stuff that we have.
Okay. Well, I hope you guys are more aware of cystic fibrosis and participate in this walk that's happening April 1st. And it's with, again, what organization?
Cystic Fibrosis Foundation.
Cystic Fibrosis.
It's called the Great Strides.
The Great Strides. So please click on the link below. Join us. Atlantic Marine has a lot of participants going for the walk on April 1st. I'm one of them, my wife, my kids.
Awesome.
We are year members of Metro Zoo, so I know the zoo inside out. So we go there a lot, and that's going to be beautiful. And it's going to be for a good cause because we need to end this. We need to find a cure for this. If not, at least better medication that could combat, and we could save more lives and help people continue living their life, you know. And thanks to Danny and his awareness and running with Danny and being involved, and thanks to you guys, we're sitting here today and we're spreading the good word. And please donate, help us out. This is for a good cause again, and this is for other people that are dealing with CF right now. It's not an easy disease to deal with, and they need all the help they can get. Thank you again. Please click on the link below. Have a great day from Atlantic Marine.
Thank you.
Thank you.